People are returning their new M1 iPad Pros. The iPad Pro is great spec-wise, but doesn't have software to match its capabilities. Apple markets the device as a pro-level device that can replace your computer, yet many pro features either don't work or are unusable. The iPad and the iPad mini are definitely not the ones to go for right now, and you're left with the only other option, the iPad Air 4.
The iPad Air has a 10.9-inch 60Hz LCD display that supports True Tone and White P3 color gamut. The A14 Bionic, a 5nm processor, also used in the iPhone 12, is no doubt a great chip and outputs great performance. A14 was the fastest mobile chip until the M1 entered the chat. Taking efficiency into consideration, I could see the battery slowly degrading while performing regular tasks, whereas the M1 would be stagnant at a percentage for a very long time, which is great. The iPad Air also charges at a relatively slow pace.
For the gamers, you don't need to worry.
The iPad Air runs games smoothly. In fact, you cannot find any difference between the Pro and the Air except when the game supports 120Hz and the Pro takes advantage of the frame rate. Otherwise, the Pro and the Air have the same exact graphic and frame rate settings. The stereo speakers and haptics on the iPad Air 4 is excellent. Quad speakers would have been fantastic. But then, the stereo speakers provide a surround sound experience. It's good for multimedia consumption and great for gaming, as you can hear the footsteps and estimate the location of the enemy located at different angles while playing first-person shooter games. Moving on, the iPad Air has a single 12MP rear camera and a 7MP selfie shooter with no ultra-wide, no LiDAR and no Face ID sensors.
There is no portrait mode either. You can only use the Animoji and Memoji stickers without the animated motion tracking features. Overall, it has a decent camera capable of taking iPhone standard photos.
Are you really going to be the guy in the back row of the concert, holding it up, blocking everyone's view like this? Are you going to be that guy?
Speaking of no Face ID, there is a Touch ID in the power button.
It's not instantaneously fast, but something's better than nothing.
In the software side, iPadOS is a fusion between iOS and macOS. iPadOS 15 is not much of a change to iPadOS 14, just a few minor tweaks.
The most versatile and stable software version would go for the macOS and then to the iPadOS and then to the iOS. Using the iPad as a second screen is very helpful for the productivity nerds.
And the universal control takes it up a notch, as you can use the same keyboard and trackpad in your Mac or MacBook and not fiddle with different keyboards while switching.
The iPad Air 4 doesn't feel complete without the additional accessories and gears.
The second generation Apple Pencil is one of the best styluses you can buy. It's definitely the most expensive first-party stylus. It's very responsive, the latency is extremely low, it's ergonomically well built, and it has double tap gesture to switch between different type of brushes to the eraser.
Is it good for artists and students? As a student, I did try to take notes with it.
It felt finicky at times, but then the palm detection software was fantastic. And there are two sides to it. You can either strain your eyes by having the notes on an iPad and taking it every time to read something can be troublesome. Or, if you want to have all the notes digitally well organized, compact, convenient and easily carryable,
both comes to personal preference. From an artist's perspective,
you do have a lot of options of palettes, brushes and textures to choose from. And the Apple Pencil is pressure sensitive too. That is, when you apply pressure on the Apple Pencil, it gives varying amount of ink into the screen.
But I feel doing the art on the canvas is more fun and delightful of an experience. The iPad Air has all the features that a regular consumer would need packed into it, with minor differences from the M1 iPad Pro, but at a cheaper price. It's a product worth buying for the tech enthusiasts and the regular consumer. Alright, thanks for watching. This is NikhilvKanna signing off. Peace.